For most of human history, people believed that the moon had oceans too. Astronomers through the centuries believed the moon's dark spots were actually lunar seas. Moon-fixated scientists in the 17th and 18th centuries believed this so fully that the list of features on its face are all named as oceans, lakes, and bays. The Sea of Tranquility, where Apollo 11 landed, was a real sea in the mind of moon mapper Giovanni Battista Riccioli, the Jesuit priest who gave us the moon's modern nomenclature in 1651. Collectively, the dark spots are called Maria, from the Latin for seas. In reality, as the Apollo moon rocks taught us, the seas are vast plains of cooled lava. While you would experience the moon as a chalky, dry sea of emptiness, it does have water. Depending on what scientific instruments you believe, it has a whole lot. The trouble is that the water is locked up in the regolith as hydrated minerals, or may exist as ice that has been buried forever in craters that never see the light of day. Liquid water cannot exist on the moon. With no atmosphere to keep water liquid, it would evaporate instantly, and its hydrogen would fly off into space. Any future moon visitors hoping to access lunar water will have to be really talented chemists, skilled at liberating water from stone. One reason so few places on Earth resemble the moon is because of all the water on this planet. Earth's water softens and demolishes rock. Combined with wind, water is a destroyer of worlds. Entire mountain ranges rise and fall through the work of water. It also erases craters. Though the timing and duration of the beating are still up for debate, we know Earth was bombarded by asteroids long ago, and yet there are no battle scars to show for it. But the moon, free of water and wind, preserves a record of its primordial pummeling. These craters play all sorts of tricks on the human mind. In 2019, China landed a small robot called Chang'e 4 on the moon's far side, the first time such a feat had ever been achieved. A few months after the landing, a Chinese scientist named Long Xiao shared a video of Chang'e 4's approach to the lunar surface. It was like watching an animation of a fractal. Each crater grew bigger and bigger in the lander's field of view, and then smaller craters resolved within the big craters, and those smaller craters also grew bigger until more tiny craters appeared within them, and on and on. In time, a visitor to the moon would come to recognize the particular shapes and bowls of these craters in the way I recognize my favorite mountains, but you would still have a hard time getting around because of them, and not just because the craters are tripping hazards. It would be hard to get around because your mind would have a hard time interpreting what your eyes saw. The moon's craters cast weird shadows, warping the landscape like a funhouse mirror. The extreme contrast between the darkness of space and the bright white of the moon plays tricks on astronaut minds. During Apollo 12, Charles, Pete Conrad, and Alan Bean noted that the craters all seemed the same color, especially up close. The colors were deceptive. I can recall on the first EVA, moonwalk, looking at the materials around the LM, lunar module, and referring to them probably as gray-brown or gray-white, recalled Bean, who became a painter after leaving NASA in an effort to convey what he saw. On the second EVA, in the very same places, although I wasn't really aware of it at the time, I referred to them as being light brown. I kept thinking that all the rocks had a light tan coating, whereas the first day I thought they had a light gray coating. My impression now is that the interior of all these rocks would be dark gray basalt, despite their very minor differences in texture, shape, etc. Also, both times we came into the LM, our suits looked the same gray color. I saw only dark gray, never any of the browns that I'd seen outside.